Have you noticed that kindness sometimes turns against you? You try to be understanding, patient, supportive. You do everything to be a good person. You meet people halfway, help, sacrifice yourself, believe in the best in people, and in return you receive ingratitude, indifference, and sometimes even betrayal, coldness, humiliation, or mockery. And at some point you ask yourself, is it worth it? Why is the world so unfair to those who try to be light? Today I want to tell you about the thoughts of Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist who deeply understood human nature. He didn't give superficial advice. He looked into the very darkness of the soul without turning away. And he said what most of us are afraid to admit. To truly be kind, you must first meet your shadow. That part of yourself you hide. It is the key to personal power, dignity, and respect. In this video, you'll learn 6 honest, deep, sometimes painful, but incredibly liberating pieces of advice from Carl Jung. You'll understand why kindness without boundaries is not a virtue, but a path to self-destruction. Why your anger is not your enemy, but your protector. Why trying to save everyone leads to losing yourself. And most importantly, you'll learn how to gain inner wholeness, keeping your light, but no longer allowing anyone to manipulate it. Stay until the very end. The last thought of Jung that I'll share at the end of this video can change not only your attitude toward yourself, but also how the world will begin to treat you. It destroys the illusion in which millions of good people live, and gives you a new perspective, mature, deep, whole. This is not just philosophy. This is the path to inner freedom. If you've ever felt used, if your kindness has become your weakness, you must hear this. Subscribe right now so you don't lose these reflections. And please watch until the end. I promise you will not remain the same. Advice 1. Kindness without boundaries leads to self-destruction. Many of us were taught from childhood to be good. We were praised for obedience, for compliance, for wanting to help others, even when it was difficult for us. As adults, we carry this pattern into relationships, into family, into work. We say yes when we want to say no. We stay silent when we're hurt. We help even when everything inside has already burned out. It seems to us that being kind means being always available, always ready to help out, always ready to yield. But Carl Jung looked at this differently. He said, the one who doesn't know their shadow becomes its victim, and this fear of refusing, of setting a boundary, is nothing but flight from your own shadow. When kindness becomes endless, it ceases to be a virtue. It transforms into self-destruction. People sense when you're ready to give your last, and unfortunately, they don't always return the same. The world doesn't reward those who erase themselves for others. It simply uses them. This is harsh, but true. You become not a person, but a convenient resource, a functional machine. You agree to stay late at work to cover for a colleague. You drive a relative to the other end of the city even though you can barely stand on your feet. And every time you betray yourself to be good in the eyes of others, you erase a piece of your own dignity. Jung stated, true kindness is impossible without boundaries, because a boundary is not coldness or indifference, but love for yourself. This is an honest answer. Here is where I end. Here is my body, my peace, my time. People who respect themselves know how to say no, and others respect them. Surprisingly, when you refuse, people begin to take you more seriously. They listen to you. Your yes begins to mean something. How to change this? Start small. The next time someone asks you for something that causes internal protest, don't rush to agree. Take a pause. Listen to yourself. Ask, do I want to do this? If the answer is no, say it out loud, calmly, without anger, without long explanations. Simply say, Sorry, I can't right now. At first there will be discomfort, but then you'll feel not guilt, but a strange relief. The air will become clearer, your back will straighten. This is returning to yourself. Jung said, "Boundaries are not cruelty. They are a way to preserve your wholeness." Remember, kindness that has no boundaries is not strength. It's an open door through which everyone will enter, leaving their dust on you. To close this door is to truly choose yourself for the first time. Advice 2. Accept your anger. It's your strength, not your shame. Good people were taught from childhood that getting angry is bad. Anger is supposedly something low, unacceptable, unworthy. They told you, be kinder, don't get angry. Stay quiet, be smarter. And you learn to suppress anger. You learn to swallow resentment, to smile when everything inside is burning. But Carl Jung saw anger not as an enemy, but as power. He said, the shadow is not only evil, but also life energy, and anger is a signal. It shows where you suffer, where you were betrayed, where you weren't heard, where your boundaries are violated again and again, and you pretend everything is fine. Anger is your inner alarm clock, screaming, "Wake up! They're stepping on your soul again." But instead of standing up and defending yourself, you turn it off. You pretend everything's fine, and then you feel emptiness, or shame, or resentment that accumulates for years. Suppressed anger doesn't disappear. It goes inside. There it rots, accumulates, destroys. You become anxious, irritable, exhausted, sometimes even sick, because the body also speaks for you. Jung warned, if you don't accept your anger, it controls you from within. It can burst out at the most inappropriate moment in the form of a sharp flash, a scream, hysteria, or conversely, turn into cold, secret resentment that makes you a passive victim. But anger, if you become aware of it, is protection. It's inner power. It's a voice that says, you can't treat me this way. How to use this? Start by allowing yourself to feel anger without judgment, without fear. The next time someone says something demeaning to you or behaves unfairly, don't smile. Don't run away. Simply tell yourself, I'm angry, and that's normal. You don't have to scream immediately or enter into conflict. Recognition is enough. This already returns control to you. And then think about what to do. Maybe it's worth saying directly, I don't like this, or leave, or stop communicating altogether. But the decision must come from strength, not from fear. Jung wrote, what we accept stops controlling us. And this applies fully to anger. Accepted anger doesn't destroy, it protects. It becomes your armor, your right to have a voice, your choice to remain yourself. So don't fear it. Accept it as part of yourself. This doesn't make you an angry person, it makes you a person who knows their worth. Advice 3. Stop saving everyone. It's not your duty. One of the most painful traps that kind people fall into is the role of savior. You see someone suffering and you rush to help, even if you weren't asked, even if it's the 10th time, even if it ends again with you exhausted, and the one you saved just shrugs and disappears. It seems to you that you're doing the right thing. You're a kind person after all. But Carl Jung warned, by saving another you can drown yourself. Behind apparent kindness often hides an unconscious need to be needed. This isn't always about love. Sometimes it's about the fear of being forgotten, rejected, worthless, and you start grabbing onto other people's dramas, substituting, dragging, pulling for two. You're drawn to where you need to help, because otherwise you feel guilt. But you know what happens? The world quickly gets used to this. People stop seeing you as a person. They see a convenient donor, emotional, physical, financial, and the more you give, the less they value you, because value is what has a boundary, what is limited, If you're always there, if you always solve other people's problems, you become background, and no one notices the background. Jung called this the trap of the shadow. When you focus on other people's troubles, you avoid your own. You hide from your own questions, pain, emptiness, exhaustion, and fill them with other people's requests. This seems noble, but in reality, it's a way not to see yourself. And the world feels this. People start to take advantage and you lose yourself. What to do? Learn to distinguish where your help is appropriate and where it's destructive. Ask yourself, is this person ready to change, or do they just need a listener? Am I helping because I want to, or because I'm afraid of being rejected? Does this person value my help, or do they take it for granted? If the answer makes you feel heavy, then you're not helping. You're sacrificing yourself. Jung said, your task is not to save the world. Your task is to save yourself. And only from a place of inner fullness can you truly help others. Not from devastation, not from need, but from choice. Remember, those who truly want help will ask for it and appreciate it. And those who use your kindness as a habit will never change. Stop carrying other people's lives on your shoulders. You're not Atlas. You're a human being, and you have the right to rest. Advice 4. Allow yourself to be imperfect. This is what creates respect. Many of us are trying to be perfect, not to make mistakes, not to show weakness, to always be on top. We smile when it's hard. We hide our fatigue. We apologize when we're not to blame. All so that people don't see our flaws and don't think we're weak. But Carl Jung saw this differently. He said, the one who tries to be perfect becomes a slave to an image, not to themselves. And people sense this. They sense when you're pretending, when you're hiding, when you're playing a role. And you know what's surprising? People don't respect the perfect. They fear them, because perfection is cold, it's distant, it's inhuman. But when you allow yourself to be imperfect, when you admit you're tired, that you made a mistake, that you don't know something, people begin to trust you, because they see a real person, not a mask. Jung said, wholeness is not the absence of flaws, it's accepting them. How does this look in practice? Imagine you made a mistake at work. Instead of hiding it or blaming others, you simply say, yes, I made a mistake, and I'll fix it. Or imagine you're tired and someone asks you for a favor. Instead of forcing a smile and saying, of course, you honestly say, I'm very tired right now. Can we do this another time? This is not weakness. This is honesty, and honesty commands respect. Jung taught that the mature person doesn't hide their shadow. They integrate it. Admit you made a mistake. Say, yes, I was wrong, and I'll fix it. Don't hide your weaknesses. Don't justify them. Simply live with them, because it's in imperfection that authenticity manifests. And authenticity is a magnet. People are drawn to those who are honest, because there is strength in honesty. Jung called this individuation, a process in which a person stops being a role and becomes themselves. They stop chasing an image and begin building an inner core. They let go of the ideal to gain real, earthly, living strength. And this strength is attractive. It evokes respect. It creates trust. Remember, the perfect are not loved. The perfect are feared. But the living are respected and valued. Allow yourself to be alive. Allow yourself to be yourself. This is the real path to respect. First to yourself, and then from the world. Advice 5. Sometimes you need to be bad to remain yourself. This is perhaps the darkest, but also the most liberating advice from Carl Jung. We're used to thinking that kindness is our duty, that we need to be convenient, patient, peaceful, that if you're a good person, you're obligated to understand, forgive, yield. But Jung said, the shadow is not only what we hide, but also what makes us whole. Sometimes, to preserve your soul, your strength, your honesty, you need to dare to be bad in other people's eyes. What does this mean? It means not agreeing when they expect your silence. It means not smiling when they humiliate you. It means not compromising with yourself for the sake of someone else's comfort. It means saying, I disagree. I don't want this. I can't do this. The world is used to calling such people inconvenient, difficult, cold. But in reality, these are people with boundaries, people with honor, people who don't give themselves away for approval. How many times have you stayed silent to avoid conflict? How many times have you forgiven those who didn't ask for forgiveness, just to preserve relationships? How many times have you been angry with yourself for bending again, for giving in again, for letting others decide how you should live? Jung warned, if you don't give your shadow an outlet, it will come out on its own, in the form of resentment, exhaustion, or even self-hatred. Being bad in Jung's understanding is not anger or revenge. It's a mature position. I'm not obligated to please everyone. I'm not obligated to be convenient. I'm obligated to be myself. Sometimes refusal is an act of self-love. Sometimes a sharp answer is a way to preserve your wholeness. Sometimes leaving is the only way not to lose yourself completely. How does this look in practice? Imagine your colleague has been shifting their work onto you for years. You endure, thinking, well, I'm kind. It's not hard for me. But inside, irritation grows. Respect diminishes. Recognition, zero. Now imagine that one day you calmly say, no, this is your task, without shouting, without apologies, just stating the fact. Or a friend who calls only to complain but never asks about you, and you simply stop answering, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Jung called this integrating the shadow. This is when you don't kill your kindness. You place it on a solid foundation. You're no longer a victim. You're no longer someone who can be controlled through guilt. You're a person with boundaries, with a voice, with the right to say no. Remember, being bad doesn't mean being cruel. It means being real. It means being honest. It means finally starting to respect yourself. And that's where respect from others begins. Advice. 6. Stop waiting for approval from others. This is the path to inner freedom. Kind people often find themselves trapped by other people's expectations. You live in a way that won't disappoint anyone. You say what's pleasant to hear. You do what's expected of you. You smile when it hurts. You silently swallow resentment just so you won't seem inconvenient. And all of this for one thing, so they'll accept you, so they'll approve of you, so someone will say, you're good. But Carl Jung said, as long as you depend on the opinions of others, you don't belong to yourself. And he was right. The thirst for approval makes us hostages. We live as if on someone else's leash, looking back with every step. Will they judge? Will they reject? Will they think badly? You can be an adult, successful, strong person, but inside you still feel like a small child, waiting for praise for every correct behavior. This robs you of freedom. This steals your authenticity. When you're dependent on external approval, you begin to betray yourself. You agree to the inconvenient. You stay silent when you need to speak. You behave not as you want, but as is right. And at some point you discover that you're not living your life, that you don't even know who you are without other people's reactions, without other people's judgments. Jung taught that a mature person doesn't seek confirmation of their value. They know it. They don't need applause to act correctly. They don't sacrifice themselves for likes in real life or in their head. They act from inner support. How to change this? Start noticing in which situations you make decisions only because you fear disapproval. For example, you agree to a meeting you don't need because you don't want to seem rude. Or you continue relationships that have long had no warmth because you fear loneliness and judgment. Ask yourself, if no one were watching, what would I do? This will be your honest choice. Let it be inconvenient. Let someone not like it. Let someone even walk away from you. This means they were near not the real you, but your mask. And if this mask disappeared, then let those who loved it disappear too. The real ones will stay and will respect you more. Jung said, "True freedom comes when you no longer need someone else's approval to be yourself." Remember this. Every time you go against yourself for the sake of other people's expectations, you lose a part of your soul. But every time you tell yourself, "I'm not obligated to please everyone," you return it. Kindness is not weakness, but kindness without boundaries, without support, without maturity, can destroy you. Carl Jung showed us that being only light is dangerous, because light without darkness is blind. It blinds both itself and those around it. Only the one who has accepted their shadow becomes truly strong. Only then does kindness transform from sacrifice into choice. Only then do you begin to live your life, not someone else's expectations. Accept this path. Set boundaries so people start respecting you. Allow yourself to get angry so you no longer destroy yourself from within. Stop saving everyone to save yourself. Allow yourself to make mistakes, to be tired, to be alive. Don't be afraid to be bad if it preserves your wholeness. And most importantly, let go of dependence on other people's approval, because your true strength is not in pleasing everyone, but in remaining yourself, even when you're not understood. Now think, where in your life has kindness turned into weakness? Where do you betray yourself for the sake of a world that's not worth it? Where do you stay silent when inside a voice is screaming, "Enough"? Take the first step today. Write in the comments which of Jung's 6 pieces of advice resonates most with you. In which situation did you recognize yourself? Or maybe you've already begun this path and are ready to share your experience. I will definitely read every comment, because that's where the real is born. In dialogue, in pain, in honesty. If this conversation resonated in your heart, like this video to support such topics. Subscribe so you don't lose the next video. There's much more important content ahead for those who are tired of being good and are finally ready to become themselves.